Hating all over you, hating all over you, hating all over you, hating all over you. Ballin' at what cost? Ballin' at what cost? Week 12, we've made it. Can you believe it? We don't trust you. Do we trust you? Hey, early bird gets the worm. In 2024, you hating all over you, hating all over you, yeah, we don't trust you. Hey, shout out to Future and Metro Boomin for releasing that album on a beautiful Friday like this. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna get real with you. We're gonna get straight into it. Not much is going on. I wish I can come to you today and be like, full of excitement and news and this happened and that happened and oh no, what will happen? But not really, guys. I'm at it's the phase right now where you're getting beat up a little bit mentally. I'm looking outside right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you understand how grateful you are that you aren't seeing what I'm seeing. Because what I'm seeing is absolutely fucking horrendous. Like, I don't know how much longer I can take this anymore. Like, at this point. Like, it's just gray, dirty, black. It's just literally black and white outside. There's a very low will to live. Guys, I'm fucking fighting over here. I'm fucking fighting, it's tough. And thank God we have still something to talk about. I'm not going to be here for long today, but see, there's something to look forward to, and at the end of the day, it's just you got to push through it. That's almost more of the discipline. You just got to stack it on your shoulder. You just push on. You just stack it on. Yeah. You just go forward. Push forward, guys. Listen. That's what you gotta understand. Sometimes you push forward, and the more you push forward, then you might just at one point get like, some beautiful thing might happen, and then it's all gonna be worth it for a reason. So let's keep on pushing. I'm over here thankful, guys. I'm thankful over here. We got some stuff to talk about, and I've got a busy weekend, working shifts, just slaving away for the fucking paycheck. But at least we got something, and we got a discipline. We got Formula One. We got at least a little something to cling on to, something just to fucking drop. There's nothing else really going on otherwise. I mean, there's UFC fight night, but it's in the Apex, and honestly, there ain't too many ranked fighters. I know I'm being a little ignorant, but it's just that kind of stuff is almost just for myself. I watch it, I'll put it on tomorrow night, and I'll enjoy all these and when they have something to prove, and I know their name a little bit more, and I've seen more than a few victories, then I'll talk to you guys about it. But up until that point, why would I bore you about some just some absolute killer that got signed for like 10K for like 3 fights or something in the UFC, and then you barely know him, and there's nothing really there for you to market. So listen, guys, I'm here telling you the truth of what there is to pay a little bit of attention to. Even for a European like myself currently, this is very difficult because early bird gets the worm this weekend. And like I said, I have a busy weekend. So on top of that, I gotta get up early, because early bird gets the worm. We're going to Australia for F1 this weekend, and Of course, for the Australians, it ain't going to be early bird. But for the rest of us, it definitely is. I don't even know what the fuck it is for the Americans. It's like, I don't even know if it's behind or forward. Like, it doesn't even fucking matter, you know? Like, I doubt that U.S. fans are actually going to give a shit about Australian GP. They're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, who cares? Anyways. Okay, so let's just recap what happened. We took a weekend of a break, so, 2 weeks off, and now we're back. So let's just recap what happened in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia anyways. So, my boy Carlos Sainz Vasquez de Castro, he just straight up had appendicitis, and it fucked his shit up, and he had to go in for a surgery because I also read the description of like the symptoms of appendicitis. It's just like you just feel excruciating pain in your lower back, like a sharp excruciating pain. Like it's nothing, like it pretty much just paralyzes you. Like, no big deal. He gets the surgery, and the savage that he is, because, like I said, he's fucking crawling. He's fucking crawling for points, for any type of advantage, anything, and he gets hit with this second fucking race into the season. Like, I just... yes, there is a God, but it's a seriously fucking cruel one too, because Jesus Christ, man. So then he comes back crawling, like he comes out of the appendicitis surgery straight back on track to look at the race from in the pit stops. And Oliver Behrman, the guy that the 18-year-old that comes in to replace him, does a okay job, I guess, scoring some points. But it's the fact that Sainz now lost the chance of scoring points. So now it's like third round into the freaking season, my boy has to start crawling back to the start, like to the top three. I thought after the first round, I was like, let's fucking go. We're looking really solid. And then just bam. Just like bam, the worst possible thing, you don't even race. You can't even have the possibility to score some points. But anyways, we've moved past that heartbreak, but that's what went down at least. And then, before going into who got the top two, which we can already almost fucking just, it's like one of those things that you at least like, even like, in like the surfs, when there was like kingdoms and shit, even the serfs knew that, for example, you can't eat dog shit, because you're just gonna, it's just gonna like poison you, or it's just like you can't eat this certain type. This is pretty much the same thing. It's just we just know who's the top one or two cars in each race of the Formula One. It's just like common knowledge, dude. Like a baby knows that. Straight up. Like it's one of those things that even like a elderly with Alzheimer's, it's like they won't remember. They won't remember. No, they won't remember their fucking children's or grandchildren's names, but they'll fucking recognize. They'll fucking know that Red Bull in the 2024 season is 1-2, dude. Or at least a Red Bull car is winning the fucking race. Like, it's just simple as that. That's just basic physics. It might as well be added as a extra law of motion. Seriously, because it's just getting ridiculous at this point. So we're gonna focus on everything else, except from that. We're not gonna be completely ignorant, but at the same time, there just isn't gonna be that deep dive where I'm like, yo, this is what he did this weekend to win the race. No way. There's no chance in hell. So instead of that, Oscar Piastri, who I'd like to believe is one of the guys that's gonna be fighting for the P2 and the P3s of everything during this season, or one of the potential guys, right? He comes out with a impressive P4 after Charles Leclerc grabs the last podium spot after the Red Bulls, right? And you can see where I'm going, because obviously in this case, I would have imagined that Carlos Sainz could have been the Ferrari in the P3, right? So now Charles Leclerc got that P3, and Oscar Piastri, he's lurking there. He's lurking there with an impressive P4. And I'm hoping he can use this momentum that he's kind of embarked on. Then now he can use this and carry it into his home court and really just take it all in. Really, it's just, it's fabulous. But like I mentioned, we're going to look at the driver standings here for a second. P2 to P9 is absolutely a free-for-all. Like, if we're going to exclude P1, which is Max Verstappen, and we're going to exclude P10, in a sense that, damn, you really can't exclude P10, honestly. Okay, but, yeah, you really can't exclude P10. P2 to P10 is open. P2 to P10 is realistically, at this point, round 3, still a free-for-all. And there, and in that sense also, that you don't, like, I can see, because look at this, listen to this, P10 right now is Oliver Behrman, right? And let's just assume Oliver Behrman is not going to be racing in a single race anymore this season. Or maybe there's some freak accident, he drives for another team, but let's just assume he's not scoring any points. But the one after that would be like, you have drivers, you have Lance Stroll. You know what? No, because, no, oh, yeah, because Oliver Behrman, yeah, he's, okay, no, I'm going to take that back. P2 to P9 is completely open, because at this point, P9 is Lewis Hamilton, right? Lewis Hamilton is at 8 points. He's sitting at 8 points. Going into round 3, now people can slowly formulate why he decided to, switch over to Ferrari after this season. I'm just saying, you're still Lewis Hamilton. You're still the fastest guy, and he's trying his best, I guess, and he's still P8 or P9 right now, so with 8 points. So that's just giving you a bit of a picture of how challenging it's going to be of a year for Mercedes. It's not like, and that's all it is. It's just for Merc is in like the top fucking team, and Lewis Hamilton doesn't see like in the near future of them being the top team again. So he's just like, all right, fucking, like, I'll try my best, I guess. I guess, dude, but like, shit, like there's killers in front of me. And I'm talking about P8, you have Lando Norris sitting at 12 points, so 4 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Lando Norris isn't bad. No one's saying I'm saying Lando Norris could get his first win this season. I still believe in something like that, but it hasn't been easy for him either. It hasn't been easier for him either. Lando Norris, he's P8 right now in the driver's standing, and he's struggling to compete against his teammate, which is Oscar Piastri. Then you go above that, you have Fernando Alonso tied with Lando Norris with 12 points. Fernando Alonso, veteran savage, there's no slowing him down. The race pace of the car is a little bit more difficult, and then the fact that everyone's so on point with the strategy as well. Fernando's got raw pace. That's the thing. He just has that raw pace, raw consistency. He's fighting up there. You go 3 points ahead of him is my boy Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz 3 points ahead of his Spaniard veteran colleague, I guess. And he's only got 15 points because he's scored the 1 P3 and in Bahrain, and then he got 0 points now. So that's the reason why he's in P6. And he's in P6 because of one podium right now. Carlos Sainz, I'm saying, and that's the thing, he's in P6. He could have still, if he would have raced, he could have still been like P4, P5, P3 even. But now he's struggling in like P6 because he missed out on chances to score points in Jeddah. So above Carlos Sainz is my fucking pretty much my second favorite guy, which is Oscar Piastri. He's got 16 points, 1 point ahead of Carlos Sainz, right? But he's at least scored points both races, right? Consistency, he's fighting up there. Then you have George Russell, 18 points, 2 points above Oscar Piastri for P4. And now we're getting up there in the elite competition, right? Then when you get up to P4, right? George Russell. Now we're talking about the elite competition, and George Russell is what's the most elite part about him? He has so much fucking consistency. That's why he's P18, even though he's got the same car as Lewis Hamilton, who's sitting right now in P9 with actually exactly 10 less points. George Russell's been up. He's just trying his best, and he's treating this as his team now. He understands Lewis Hamilton is on his way out. Their time is over. George Russell really trying to take lead, a strong lead in Mercedes-Benz, which is really, really typical from him. Charles Leclerc, P3 right now. He's with 28 points. Consistency, qualifying, always in the top 3. That's what's going to make... that's the consistency with Leclerc. You can't take that away from him. Of course, I'm such a big Sainz fan that I would just claim that they would be on par right now if you wouldn't have missed the last round. But however, still, Charles Leclerc clearly slight level above the rest of the guys right now with the car that he has under him as well. 28 points sitting in P3 for Charles Leclerc. Then it's Red Bull for the last 2. Sergio Perez, P2 with 36 points. So not even that far ahead of Charles Leclerc, right? So currently 8 points ahead. And then you go to P1, Max Verstappen in the Red Bull, 51 points. And, nothing else to say from that. That's just two P1s and then one fastest lap, and he's 51 points, which is so 15 points ahead of Sergio Perez. So yeah, guys, that's just how it is. But you see my vision, though. You see how realistically if you have Sergio Perez or Leclerc both having one DNF, everything's open. Everything's open from if Lewis Hamilton fucking has a really good one and Sergio Perez or Leclerc has a really bad one, you flip those P2 to P9. And that's the thing, okay, cars, we're not that into the details of what the cars are like right now currently, but you can make your fucking conclusions at this point a little bit, and or you just have to have an open mind. That's also what I'm trying to get at. Just have a fucking open mind. There's such a thing. That's where it's like Formula One. It's just I feel like you white people don't get it. Because it's for you guys, it's all about statistics and logics and, what's realistic. No, dude, you gotta put a little flair into it. Be a little bit that his luck is gonna catch up to him, or believe a little bit on the superstitious stuff, because that's what makes me wanna watch these fucking weekends. I gotta start believing in voodoo shit to find this sport entertaining. Yeah, dude, I gotta make shit up. I gotta hallucinate. Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious, man. But you get my point. It's there's a reason. There's a reason there are every now and then there's those races where something just happens. You don't know. Safety car, somebody crashes, some system failure, something. There's a million type of things, and there's no way you can escape all of them. So we'll see what happens, especially this weekend with Melbourne, a very fast track. Hamilton in 2019 averaged 235 kilometers per hour on the track, which is really fucking fast. 235 kilometers per hour. What the fuck? There's still a lot of turns. How the hell do they do that? I know technology is crazy. It's very technical for the speed it has, but it is known to be rather slippery because it is, in a sense, street circuit. But that's the reality of that is the more slippery or less grip, mechanical grip it has, then the more individual skill it's going to require, right? And experience and all that stuff. So, and it's like a progressive thing. So because all the cars put more rubber onto the road, then it gets grippier, and it's all that. So by Sunday, it's just you have to adapt through the weekend, through the practice, through the qualifying, and through the race. So especially when these guys might be dealing with a little bit of jet lag, but I mean, they're so in tune. But still, a change of fucking everything else, location on the planet. I'm sure it has to do with all types of stuff. Very exciting sector 1, where opening lap, it definitely won't disappoint. Very tight turns all the way to like turn 5 pretty much, or after turn 4. Very fast sector 2, very, very fast. You got a DRS zone as well in sector 2, and a very technical sector 3. You can fucking definitely lose a lot of time if we're at least talking about Saturday, just qualifying. You might actually make a mistake if you're not too sharp. So that's also a thing to keep in mind. I'm rooting for McLaren this weekend. That's who I'm paying attention to. Of course, always going to pay the most attention to my boy Valtteri Bottas and Joe Guanyu, especially Valtteri Bottas. He just went viral pretty much for one of the more hilarious advertisements. I'm not, I wish I could get paid, so I would mention the name, but I'm going to skip on that. But Valtteri Bottas, extraordinary actor as well, And how can you not like the guy? He's playing into the role. He understands that he doesn't have to try much, and he'll still get a laugh, and people will like him, and it's all positive vibes. Anyway, they had a mullet off. Not Molotov. Mullet off. They had a mullet competition in Australia with Valtteri. Oh my God, it's fucking hilarious. I love the Australians. They have the better, like, comedic, dude, the Australians must fucking understand comedy really well. They do a very good job writing comedy. It's really interesting. And Bottas, I'll be rooting for him. Hopefully he scores points. That's definitely what I'm going to go for this weekend. But also, Oscar Piastri, let's go in that top 5 again. Lando Norris, let's try to get into that top 5 as well. Let's just fucking be up there. Make it more interesting. Leclerc, Sainz as well. I hope both men are pushing it up there, challenging the Red Bulls, trying to take advantage of maybe a mistake or two, small mistakes they make, and that's the weekend really for me. But let's just, I guess, see, this is what I'm hanging on to something here. I'm just So let's just, I guess, talk about the sports world in one of the bigger news that dropped within the last couple weeks that, I've been like kind of contemplating talking about, which is just, I gotta take a deep breath, but and I wish you to take a deep breath, take a deep breath, exhale slowly, all that. But, Jake Paul is going to fight Mike Tyson in a boxing match live on Netflix. yeah, just ladies and gentlemen, God's testing me. God is really testing me with this type of bullshit. What? Like, like if it was their own thing, like if it was just Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, like with their own promotion companies or whatever, or agents and managers, they just threw it together and was like, hey, let's just do it. Make our own bank. Fucking like, there's the profit. Just, the number sounds good. Let's just do it. Fine. You know what? Fine. Because no one's going to fucking watch it anyways. And it's all just going to be a big advertisement for their own fucking sake. But this shit, Netflix, out of fucking everything, you got to get Netflix, which means this makes it much more official. Oh my God, Netflix. And it's going to be like one of the first like live broadcasted events on Netflix. Yeah. Because this is what I'm going about, and I'm sorry to scare you if this modern philosophy of mine is just too much for you, but if we think about dating back when the television and live television, like live broadcasts, were first brought to television, the invention of television, it was boxing matches. That's why fucking Rocky Marciano, right, was the most famous person on earth. It was because that was the fucking one of the first things they broadcasted live, which was a boxing match. And then so now we have the modern day biggest thing that's like the television, which is Netflix. And so far, all they've done is just fucking like bankrolled everything and just bought everything and then just made it their own, presented by Netflix. Oh, this thing is on Netflix. Wow. Netflix? It's Netflix? Okay, but I get it. Yeah, Netflix is the big, they have it's the most, but then now they're going to the point of live broadcast, which is the same exact thing as what we had, which was television, right? But because that was the difference between streaming platforms was just streaming platforms, right? But now you have the biggest out of all of them, like Netflix, and then Netflix goes like, hey, listen, we're gonna do one of our first big ass live broadcasts, and it's gonna be fucking Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson as the boxing match. Which was almost 100 years ago when we had our first live broadcast, which was boxing. And now we're in the year 2024, where now we have the first live broadcast on Netflix, and it's the worst possible boxing matchup you can ever think of, where you could still say you could almost still consider the both gentlemen boxers, because you can make a strong argument that neither gentleman are even boxers currently in 2024. I know Mike Tyson well enough to say that he is always going to say, when he exists, that he's born to be a boxer. He's a boxer, he's a warrior, he's a fighter. Jake Paul will go on fucking screen because he's such a fraud and say that he's about that life too. And honestly, at this point, with the amount of steroids he's pumped into his veins, yeah, sure, honestly, you are a fucking fighter. You fucking mother. So now, okay, there you go. Netflix bankrolled and then now everyone gets paid. And then Netflix gets to present this fucking atrocity. Just straight fucking disgusting because Jake Paul's gonna win, guys. Like, it just fucking it hurts my heart that we're gonna go to the point of let's just throw this together, and it's probably gonna not even be real, and then the worst possible is gonna be the way it ends is Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson, because Jake Paul is still undefeated. He's still like no one's, which is like, I just, best of luck for both gentlemen. I mean, like, that's why I even thought of mentioning it, because I really had to process this thing all in all. But I guess here it is. It's just now we don't know how entertainment is going to go, because now Netflix is going to have live shit. So what are they becoming? Are they going to become like a live streaming platform like Kick or Twitch? Or are they going to be more live streaming, like just like regular scheduled programming again, like TV or live events? Guys, it's a big whirlwind to wrap your head around and try to get through it, but it's interesting. Like, I think Mike Tyson is, all in all, I don't know, dude. It's scary. Guys, I'm going to search Mike Tyson's age. He's 57 years old. And guys, this is a 57 who's, I think he's at least always relatively had a good diet. And he, at the end of the day, has trained more than the average human. But it's just the sport of boxing where it's so high frequency and all the just, honestly, like the fucking, just the stress that his body has taken, like physically, but just like, neurological stress, all that shit. 57 is pushing it, dude. And all the mountains of cocaine that Mike Tyson has done back in the day, he's pushing it, dude. To go into a boxing ring with a roided up, how old is Jake Paul? 27-year-old. 27 is the prime for combat sport. I'm sorry, but like, that's about the prime age, especially when you're roided up. So, guys, I'm just saying, I really hope this is gonna, best case scenario for me is that it's an exhibition boxing match, it's a fucking draw, or it's Mike Tyson wins it by decision and they actually rig it that way. But honestly, based on how it's been so far, Jake Paul most likely is just going to win the fight. Mike Tyson is going to take a fucking, goofy ass loss to Jake Paul, and that's that. But at the end of the day, if both gentlemen, especially Mike Tyson, I'm thinking in the best way, like I'm trying to wrap my head around it and try to think the most positive, then I guess, Mike Tyson must have signed up to this because there was enough zeros, and that would have supported him and his family and his crew much, much more. So, hey, if that's the case, it's just that has to be the case. And I'm happy for Mike Tyson, who's 57-year-old. In this day and age, still people respect him for what he used to do. You know what I'm saying? This is, see, in that perspective, I guess you gotta take it in and be like, all right, but otherwise, fuck Jake Paul, fuck this whole bullshit. At this point, fuck Netflix, but Netflix, hey, if you want to maybe give me money for a stand-up special one day, that'd be great. But anyways, up until that point, fuck, it's too much money. I want to be a part of that money. Fuck, I'm too jealous. Fuck. Oh. But hey, I'm glad that, honestly, Mike Tyson is at that level. But it just pisses me off because it just has to be in relation to Jake Paul, So, it's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, I squeezed something out of this weekend. I'm just blessed. I'm just trying my best to stay positive. It's going to be, by the time we get to April, that's when things are going to turn around and we're going to feel much better. This is the second last week before we get to there. So hanging in there. It's no problemo. I'll see you guys next weekend, all right? Enjoy your weekend. Take it easy. Remember, early bird gets the worm. Do a little reading, have a good coffee, go for a walk, something. Do a couple push-ups, something, Give your girl a good stabbing, something, guys. You got to do something in the mornings, okay? Early, all right? Get that blood flowing, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, Ballin' at What Cost, Week 12. That's it. I'll see you guys next weekend. Thanks for sticking along.